Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're on the 500th video. It's been quite a journey these past couple of years, and as you can see, we've come a long way through the progression of videos. I hope everyone out there enjoyed the new channel intro. Yeah, on YouTube I had a poll of what you wanted to see for the 500th video. You voted for a Q&A, and I thank everyone out there for submitting their questions on Instagram, Twitter, Vero, and YouTube. Okay, let's get the Q&A started with a digital HD giveaway at the end of the video. Here we go. Okay, question number 1 comes from John MB. Hey Frederick, doing a great job, man. Thanks, man, I appreciate it. Okay, who would you pick to win in a fight? Doom Guy or Master Chief? Ooh, that's a great question. In case you don't know, Doom Guy is the original first-person shooter champion in Doom. He's been to hell and back. He's fought demons. He has a chainsaw. But then you have Master Chief from Halo. He was trained since he was a child. He's a badass. He's pretty much Kurt Russell from the film Soldier. This has been debated, and it's said that Master Chief won. I have to say it's going to be pretty close. Doom Guy literally went to hell and back, fought demons. He has a chainsaw. But Master Chief is just an all-around badass, very skilled, and has been doing it much longer. So I have to give the edge to Master Chief from Halo. John MB also asks, Marvel or DC? Ooh, can we all just get along? Okay. I love Marvel Comics and I love DC Comics. I love both. I love Marvel Comics more than I do the MCU films. I don't know, I just don't like the joking nature of it and just kind of like the dumbed down child nature of it. I like darker stuff, but that's just me. I love the earlier Marvel stuff more than the MCU stuff, and I love the comics even more than any of the films on both sides. But if somebody had a gun in my head, I'm going to have to say I'm a DC fanboy. I love DC Comics, and it has to be DC for me. But to add to that, Batman. Batman wins over everyone in the DC and Marvel universe, so I choose Batman. Next, Matt Zombie says, Hello Frederick, what is your favorite Blu-ray in your collection? Great question, that's hard. There's a lot of Blu-rays I really love. The Road Warrior was one of my first Blu-rays. It was my first Blu-ray. I also like my television series like Boardwalk Empire, From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. So many great Blu-rays, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek. I think my favorite would have to be Tron Legacy. I just love the case, and the picture quality on this is amazing. I mean, it's an IMAX with the IMAX 3D sequences, real D 3D, and I love this movie. It has good sound and everything. This is a really good demo. There's a lot of action movies I love. Mission Impossibles are great, but this is probably my favorite as far as design, picture, and everything. But as far as box set goes, I would have to say the Alien Anthology. This is an awesome box set. It includes both the theatrical and special edition of the films, and also it ports over the VHS Laserdisc DVD features and has new Blu-ray features of all 4 of the original Alien films. So this is probably my favorite Blu-ray box set. Matt Zombie also asks, what film scared you as a kid? For me, being still in my teen years, it's the tunnel scene from Willy Wonka. Yeah, that was a crazy scene. Gene Wilder was nuts in that sequence. What scared me was A Nightmare on Elm Street because my brother-in-law introduced me to that film when I was 6 years old. Way too young. That film scared the living shit out of me. That was probably the scariest movie. And then, even though it's not a film, I would say Tales from the Crypt on HBO. We used to watch that. Some parts were pretty scary for me. Other than that, I would probably have to say Nightmare on Elm Street, and then my brother-in-law also watched the Leprechaun films. For some reason, Warwick Davis as a little leprechaun all burnt up and just looking ugly. He was just grotesque. Like, that scared me as a child. It really did. Matt Zombie's final question is, what's your favorite horror film? For me, it's either The Shining or The Exorcist. Great question. It's really hard. I love the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the meta-sensibility of Scream. But for me, besides The Exorcist, I like The Exorcist. It's a very good movie. Shining's great. I think for me, to add to that would probably be the 1978 Halloween by John Carpenter, and then Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Peeping Tom is also a great film that started the slasher genre, but I love Psycho. The way that's designed, the unexpected nature of it with them killing off a lead character that's basically in the first half of the movie, the whole twist with Norman Bates, and then the influence it had on both Halloween and Scream. And then I love Halloween because it was kind of like the Renaissance in the late 70s, 80s with the slasher genre that led to Jason and Freddy, but it wasn't made with like over explicitness of sex and everything. It was still made like an Alfred Hitchcock suspense thriller, and I love that. Something about it felt very real. So those would probably be my two favorite horror films, as far as like just kind of like suspense thriller. And then of course, going on in a traditional sense, I love the 1931 Bela Lugosi Dracula. That's just a classic. Jared2490 says, "Are you ready for Avengers Endgame, man?" Yeah, man, it's biodigital jazz. I was kind of 50-50 on it. I loved Infinity War. I wanted to see the cliffhanger. I haven't been that blown away since the cliffhanger in Matrix Reloaded. And I wanted to see what happens. But some of the Captain Marvel stuff and outside of the film just turned me off. And I just wasn't sure how it was going to be, you know? But not only that, some assholes spoiled the film for me 2 days before the release on one of my videos. They were commenting on the fate of one character and like ruined the ending. And then my mom found out spoilers through Yahoo. So like, I've already been spoiled about the whole movie before going to see it. So yeah, man, I'm a little bummed out and pissed. But I'm excited to see it. Everyone, I'm about to get ready. We're in the end game now. Gonna see Avengers Endgame, and I'll let you know how I feel after. And here's my reaction after the movie. Okay, I just got out of Avengers. What a brilliant emotional culmination. The past 11 years of Marvel Studios. Beautiful ending. A lot of fun with time travel and stuff. I really liked it. It was a fun movie. A lot of nods and love put to the past 11 years. I liked Infinity War a little bit better, but Iron Man's still my favorite, but this is just a culmination of all the films, so it's not only the conclusion of Avengers, but this Infinity Saga phase of Marvel Studios. Overall, end of a saga. You're not going to see this for a while. GeekandEats asks, top 5 Marvel movies. Ooh, my top 5 personally would be Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton. I think it's an underrated second film in the MCU. Very much like the 70s show with a little bit of the comics and kind of a loose sequel to the Eric Bana, even though it's a reboot. Then it would be Captain America Civil War. I love the Civil War film and what they did, the nods to the comics, the embellishments. Spider-Man and Black Panther are actually better in Civil War than they were in their own individual films. And then above that would be Winter Soldier. Oh, that's a sequel that just went Dark Knight and made Captain America awesome. Brought him to the 21st century. The Russo's first MCU entry. It's just an amazing film, and I love Robert Redford as a villain. Then it would be Infinity War. That film was a game changer. Thanos was a first real grave threat in the MCU. Made Loki and everybody else look like a joke. I love Josh Brolin in that. Even though it does have some jokes, I do love the chemistry between all these different characters in these films meeting each other for the first time, and then that ending is ballsy. Snap. Should have gone for the head. Infinity War isn't something one considers when balancing the universe, but it does put a smile on my face. And then Iron Man is my personal favorite MCU film. Still, after 11 years, I love the first Iron Man. Tony Stark, he is Iron Man. GeekandEats asks, go-to shows to watch. For other people, I don't know. There's Twin Peaks. There's Game of Thrones. But for me, my go-to shows are The X-Files. I love The X-Files. The original Twin Peaks. Boardwalk Empire, Smallville. I love Smallville. And then I love Miami Vice, Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, Arrow, and then Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things. GeekandEats asks, favorite Disney movie? Ooh, that's hard. I love Beauty and the Beast. I love Aladdin. I love all the 80s, 90s Renaissance films. But my favorite out of them would be between Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King. I love The Lion King. Probably the most violent G movie ever made. Yeah, The Lion King. And then as far as live action, there's a lot of great films they did. Tron, The Love Bug and stuff. But I think for live action, my 3 favorites is tied. Or 4 favorites. I have 4 tied. Sky High, Flubber, and then The Mighty Ducks and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. GeekandEats asks, any favorite cooking-based movies? Yes, there's 2 tied, actually. I recommend a film called Tortilla Soup. Hector Lozano's in it. He makes food. He's a chef. Oh my God, you watch that movie? It has romance and other stuff. He has 3 daughters, deals with their lives and their father's life. He loses his taste. He can't taste, but he's a wonderful cook. He owns a restaurant, and yeah, there's so much Mexican food there. It's just great. Like, it's going to make you hungry. When I first saw that film, I ate a whole pan of lasagna. That's how hungry it makes you. And then another film, very underrated film, directed and starring Jon Favreau, is Chef. That is a great film. If you're a foodie, Chef is the way to go. Chef and Tortilla Soup are two films with cooking that I highly, highly recommend. Next question comes from Chris Johnson. What's your favorite movie of all time? That is hard. I have at least 50 movies in my number one. I love Mission Impossible. I love the Batmans, the Dark Knight trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy. I love Toy Story. There's so many films I love. I love the Terminators, Casino Royale. I think for me, that goes with my favorite. I mean, Wizard of Oz is good. For me, that goes with my favorite and best movies. Would probably be The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2. Two of the greatest films ever made, and two films where I really think they're flawless. I mean, there's some stuff in a technical way that you could probably nitpick, but those two films are just freaking flawless. I love those films. Chris Johnson asks, what's your favorite action film? I love action movies. There's like RoboCop, there's MI2. I mean, there's all the Mission Impossibles, but like Mission Impossible 2 and like Fallout are really good. The Bonds. Any like Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger film, like any Arnold Schwarzenegger film. True Lies be like, Dana, grab my hand, do it now, Dana. He's like, the hell with you, Crumb. It's not a tumor, it's not. Today we're going to play a game called Who's Your Daddy and What Does He Do? So my favorite action film would actually be Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That movie has everything. Science fiction, action, heart, just everything. That movie is my favorite James Cameron film. So yeah, my favorite action film of all time is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Fuck Game asks, fuck game? Like food game or like fuck game? I don't know. He asks, when did you start making videos? As far as like short films, wasn't until 2009. But as far as like review videos or like music tributes, probably in the summer of '09. But I made them on my computer without a YouTube. I did not get a YouTube until 2011, and then I had my second channel sometime in 2015. Basically, when I started making videos, it was a way to self-teach myself editing. I was also inspired by another YouTuber. He used to be around. He hasn't been around much in recent memory, but Silver Lightsaber. Check out Silver Lightsaber stuff. Awesome fan trailers and stuff. He had an awesome channel. He inspired me to make like fan music videos. There's also other videos that are and channels that are no longer around. That's what inspired me, but it was a way to self-teach myself editing. I was directing a short film in my media tech class my senior year called Reimagine, like a PSA drunk driving thing. And I didn't know much about directing. There was a lot of cooks in the kitchen, a lot of trials and tribulation, but I'm glad to have that experience in high school before going to film school. And now, basically, I did not edit that film. I didn't know much about editing. So I had another editor, and I was just talking to other people, which wasn't bad, but I felt like I wanted to learn how to edit stuff so I can edit my own stuff. I can do it more efficiently, faster on a schedule, but also kind of do it the way I wanted to do it. So I just downloaded trailers from like IGN and stuff like that and stuff from video games and started making fan music tributes. Then I started filming off my TV and then eventually found like a Flash player, and music tributes went on to be in fan trailers. And then that helped me with my own short films through film school and now beyond. Now that I'm making films, it helped me in my own work and now in reviews. So that's how I started making videos. I started like in August 3rd, 2011. So that's how it all kind of came about. So yeah, my incompetence in video editing led to all this madness. Raptor Cloak asks, what's your favorite comic book movie of all time? I think GeekandEats also asked this question too. Raptor Cloak, there's a lot of great films. The Avengers was earth-shattering as far as team-up films. BVS, Man of Steel, underrated. Watchmen. I think there's some underrated films that aren't mentioned, like Road to Perdition, History of Violence, The Crow, The Shadow with Alec Baldwin and The Rocketeer. Even Dick Tracy to a degree. Superman the movie was groundbreaking. Made you believe a man could fly. But my favorite, besides Dark Knight, I feel like that's too recent, but my personal favorite comic book movie would have to be Batman from 1989, directed by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. That's my favorite comic book movie of all time. Not only did it introduce me to Batman, but it's serious enough to where it's not campy, but It's light and entertaining enough to where it's not grounded and too overly dark. It has just the right amount of everything. It feels the most like a comic book come to life. I mean, it even inspired the animated series of Batman, so that's probably my favorite comic book film. Okay, GeekandEats. What's the best book movie adaptation? As far as like novel, that's hard because there's a lot of films that aren't very faithful to the novel. You have all this young adult stuff with Twilight, Maze Runner, Hunger Games. There's some stuff that switches stuff that's not entirely like the book. There's like The Shining. I love Interview with the Vampire, even though they take some embellishments. Anne Rice was a screenwriter, but then you also had Perks of Being a Wallflower, who was directed and written by the author of the novel. That's a great, great movie. But as far as like straight up adaptation from the book to the film, I have to go with something that's very close. So like something like Dune is a really good movie, but not like the book at all. So for me, I think the best book movie adaptation would have to be Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I mean, you can almost read the novel and watch the movie, and it almost be like a manuscript of what's going on in the film. The first Harry Potter has magic, but it's very, very faithful to the novel. So I would say Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone would be my favorite and what I think is the best book movie adaptation. GeekandEats asks, what movie are you most excited for this year? It was Glass before I saw the ending. No, I actually wasn't too pumped up for Avengers like everyone was. But I think for me, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. That's the movie I'm most looking forward to. And then besides that would probably be Joker and It Chapter 2. And then The Lion King looks good, but other than that, I would probably say Dark Phoenix. I know that movie's getting really, really shit on right now. A lot of pre-buzz, but it hasn't come out yet. So I want to see the last X-Men movie in the 20th Century Fox era. I'm looking forward to Dark Phoenix, Joker, and It Chapter 2, as well as John Wick. Okay, UTK Productions asks, welcome back, Fred. Where would you want to travel to if you had the time and money? That's a great question. We all could use a little bit more time and money. First, I would visit Hollywood and Los Angeles, Burbank, visit some of my film school friends. I haven't visited them. I'm meaning to go there. And then I would visit Hawaii. I would like to see Miami because I'm a fan of Miami Vice. Who knows? Visit the East Coast. Yeah, we'll do a UTK Productions and meet Geeks and Eats and maybe some other stuff there. Go to New York Comic Con. But if I had the time and money, I would actually like to visit Italy. You know, see the Roman Colosseum, visit the Vatican, all that type of stuff. See the film scene around there. I wouldn't mind doing that. That would be nice to visit. I wouldn't mind visiting Italy, like Rome. That would be cool. UTK Productions asks, how does your editing process go about? Snacks and music by candlelight? Oh, gee, guys, I wish it was that romantic, to be honest. No, me, it's just sitting on my laptop, either on my lap, on my bed, or going to the desk. But usually it involves a soda, so I go by, just walk slow, open the fridge, get me a drink, maybe get a candy, get a popcorn, or maybe just eat like a pizza or something, I don't know. Whatever, but mostly it involves some caffeine, and then I open my laptop. Well, first, I film all this stuff, and then I edit my laptop and pretty much upload it, compress it, share it to IGTV and YouTube. That's pretty much what it involves. It sounds more exciting than it really is. No. UTK Productions asks, what has been your inspiration that got you into making videos? Well, I think I kind of answered that earlier, but yeah, it was seeing other YouTubers create fan music tributes, but as far as like film was something I wanted to do. I wanted to either be an author or a film director. So I love Star Wars, the original Star Wars, all the Disney films, but the two films that inspired me to be a filmmaker was in the year 1999. Oh shit, like 20 years ago now. I saw Saturday Night Fever directed by John Badham and then Mad Max directed by George Miller. Those are the two films that inspired me to be a filmmaker. And then what showed me that it's a real possibility, a reality, was Robert Rodriguez's Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I watched the special features, and when I saw that, that's when I knew filmmaking can be a reality for me. And then YouTube came about. I was not an early adopter. I wish I was before Google bought it out, and maybe could have been a millionaire by now. Who knows? But anyway, that pretty much was my inspiration. But as far as the reviews, I didn't go into this earlier. I got tired of seeing bullshit reviews. Like everybody jumping on a bandwagon, Rotten Tomatoes stuff, buzzwords. Every review was the same thing. And I'm like, okay, I know people feel a certain way, right or wrong, like or dislike, but it's like nobody had their own opinion, no consciousness. Everybody was part of a collective. And I wanted to talk about movies. I wanted to review films and bring an audience's perspective, not some shill critic, some guys over there talking about like whatever product placement there's going to be. Oh, speaking of which, this video is brought to you by Diet Dr. Pepper. You can see Spider-Man Far From Home, July 2nd. No, not really, but it should be. Awesome cans. Anyway, I just wanted to make videos that just talked about movies and talked to other like-minded people or people who disagree. Just create a discussion. I love cinema. I want to talk to other film fanatics, other cinephiles, just about movies and everything, pop culture, comics, video games, whatever. And that's how the channel came about. There's many other review channels, but I don't consider myself a critic. My brother and some other people call me a critic, and no, I'm not a critic at all. I'm like you. I'm a regular person that just likes movies. I love movies. I can watch a bad movie. I can watch a good movie, whatever. I know how much hard work it takes to make a film. And yeah, take it as a guy who had a short film made in college. Nobody clapped. Nobody booed. Just absolute silence. That's the worst thing ever. So yeah, I know how it is with criticism and certain films. So I just wanted to create a platform where you just talk about stuff. And it was really more of a hobby and just, you know, talking about so many things. And I also want to bring about attention to other older films that many people may have forgotten about or not known of. You know, there's a lot of younger people than you out there, or even I, you know. Some people are like, I've been watching the MCU films all my life, and they're like, I was 8 years old when Iron Man came out. I was like, Jesus Christ, you were 8 years old? Holy shit, I'm old. But yeah, I just wanted to create a channel where everyone could discuss films, and I wanted to just have a positive film environment. So that's what got me inspired to make this channel. Okay, UTK Productions asks, can we expect any collaborations with others in the future? Yes, I hope so. I've been trying to have collaborations. Yeah, UTK, we should do a collaboration, and then I want to do a collaboration with Alchemss. Go check out their channel. Jenna and Lisa are awesome from Alchemss. And UTK and other YouTubers, small or large, I don't care. I just want to do a collaboration with anybody. It can even be like just different videos away, like John Flickinger and Chris Stuckman do collaborations and stuff like that, or we can even meet somewhere. I want to do a collaboration. So yeah, I'd be open to a collaboration in the future of any type. It can even be like a live stream collaboration. I wouldn't mind it. I haven't gotten anything from other people, and then I'm kind of a little bit timid on asking larger channels because it's like, oh, wow, we have like 24,000 subscribers. Why would we want to collaborate with somebody with only like 300? So I don't know. I don't know. And I also have to find kind of channels and users with similar interests. But yeah, that would be cool. I also wouldn't mind like working for like Collider News or Screen Junkies with Fandom someday. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I really hope there's more collaborations in the future. By the way, if you haven't followed GeekandEats, totally check out their Instagram. They have so many lovely pictures of food. They're awesome. And UTK Productions has a channel. I'll leave a link down below. GeekandEats asks, what's the best video game adaptation? Wow, there's been a lot of video game adaptations and films. There's been a lot of shitty ones, but for me personally, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, after all these years, is still the gold standard. Yes, it's a little bit cheesy. It's a little bit 90s. It has some techno, European techno, but that movie is just awesome. That opening with New Line Cinema, I'm like, Mortal Kombat! Your brother's soul is mine. This is the part where you fall down. Sonya Blade, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Christopher Lambert as Raiden. I don't think so. And then that final fight. Yeah, Mortal Kombat's probably the best video game adaptation still. GeekandEats asks, how do you feel about the new approach DC is taking with their movies? I am a fan and I'm not a fan at the same time. I actually was one of the few people who loved BVS, but what really hurt their earlier films wasn't just the tone and them trying to do a franchise. It was really Warner Brothers destroying the films in post-production with editing, just cutting it up. Evidence of that is looking at the theatrical version of BVS versus the Ultimate Edition, which really is the actual film. And it's a shame what happened with Justice League. It's a shame what happened to Suicide Squad. Not like it would have helped the films either way, but I still think they would have been far better and far better received. But Warner Brothers on DC is just too reactionary right now, and they're basically approaching it like the way they did the Batman movies in the 90s after they fired Tim Burton. But I love the direction, but you don't need to make everything fun and light. What I love is that Aquaman can be fun, adventurous, fantasy. Shazam is meant to be lighthearted. It's big as a superhero film. What I want them to do, I love the approach you're taking, but what I want them to do is respect the tone of the characters, respect the styles. And I think if you can balance between dark and light and honor what the characters' tones are supposed to be, then I think they'll do great. So you can have a film like Shazam, and then you can have a film like Joker with Joaquin Phoenix made in the same year. That's what I want them to do moving forward. Not try to conform to either this side of being dark, this side of being light. No, just stay true to the characters, tell a damn story, and who gives a shit what anybody thinks. Stick to the tone and essence of the character, and I think you'll do great. GeekandEats asks, do you have a favorite horror movie? Well, yeah, Psycho, Halloween, but as far as like favorite, it'd probably be the Insidious films, Conjuring. I love Blair Witch Project, but also Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah. And then as far as like the Nightmare on Elm Streets, I love Dream Warriors and New Nightmare. New Nightmare is like the last action hero of horror films. I love New Nightmare. And then Scream 1 and 4 are really awesome. GeekandEats asks, do you prefer watching movies at home or at the movies? I'm more of a person that likes watching it at the movies, but god damn, people have gotten so obnoxious, and audience etiquette is at its absolute worst. I can't even like form a complete sentence thinking about it. It's turned me off. I love watching a movie on the big screen, but sometimes the way 4K HD TVs are, it's better looking on a Blu-ray. And I've been enjoying more films at home than theaters lately. The past couple of years, I don't like it. I don't like being around obnoxious people. And then when there's not like a packed theater, some asshole decides to sit right next to you, even at the top row. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You have all these seats here that you could choose to sit at, and you choose to sit next to me? What? No, I'm just a grumpy person that way, but no. Over in the area I am, when I was in Austin, Texas, when I used to live in Austin, Texas, those theaters were awesome. I love going to the Alamo Draft House at the Ritz, South Lamar. I love Galaxy Highline, the Regal Theater, Cinemark, clear DP cinema projectors. But here, where I'm at now, they're older theaters. It's clear, but I've been enjoying them at home more. So I'm kind of split, so to speak. If it's a film like a superhero film or like Star Wars or something really big budget, it's an experience than a theater. But if it's something kind of like an indie film or just a basic rom-com or something like that, or a family film, then Redbox it or buy the Blu-ray. Or even Netflix. Okay, GeekandEats asks, what about favorite boxing movie and why? There's some many great boxing films. Raging Bull, you have Gladiator with Cuba Gooding Jr., To the Bone with Antonio Banderas and Woody Harrelson. For me, I love Creed. I love the Rocky sequels, but Rocky from 1976. It's the first film that really paved the way for boxing in cinema, showed it in a realistic sense, but also it showed you the human characters. It wasn't just about the boxing, it was about the life. It was about life. And the boxing was secondary. It's about a relationship between Rocky and Adrian. Apollo Creed wasn't some kind of like, mustache twirling villain. He was human. All the characters are human. And that was just an amazing boxing film. That's the best sports film ever made, in my opinion. And Sylvester Stallone put his heart and soul into that film. John G. Avildsen directed that beautifully. The way it's shot, the makeup, cut me, Mick, cut me. Bill Conti's music. Everything about that is the American dream incarnate, and it has heart and goes the distance. GeekandEats asks, do you have a favorite anime movie? I love the Dragon Ball Z anime films, but as far as like live action from manga and anime adaptation, I would probably have to say it's between Alita Battle Angel, which got really bad marketing. That film is probably one of the best films of the year. I highly urge all of you to support Alita. Go see it, and whenever the hell the Blu-ray comes out, buy the Blu-ray. Alita Battle Angel, and then Edge of Tomorrow, Live Die Repeat with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt was a badass movie. Those two are probably my favorite live-action anime films. And then as far as like an actual anime, you can never go wrong with the original Ghost in the Shell. That's probably like my favorite anime movie. One of the earliest anime movies and cartoon films I watched. Not only as a child, but it wasn't really a children's film. It was for adults, and it was just beautiful. It's just pure art, pure cinema. I love Ghost in the Shell. That original one is just amazing. The final question from GeekandEats, what's one meal you can eat all the time and never get sick of it? Pizza, pizza. Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for a late pizza. Okay, back to UTK Productions. Okay, guys. Okay, in my Q&A video, I said, well, you can ask me what my favorite color, favorite Batman, who's my celebrity crush and stuff. Well, they actually went there. UTK, guys, you really want to know? Okay. They ask, and Who is your celebrity crushes? Notice the word crushes, because one can't just have one celebrity crush. You're right. Okay, my celebrity crushes would probably be Rachel Weisz. I loved her since the Mummy movies. Uh, then Emma Watson is like my personal, just like celebrity crush. Is like wow. Emma Roberts, Lily Collins, Alicia Vikander. Yeah, Magneto's a lucky son of a bitch. Stanya Kotick. I loved her as Beckett in Castle. She's an Absentia now. Yeah, and then Rebecca Ferguson, Ilsa Faust, probably the best Bond girl to never be in a Bond film. Then Isa Gonzalez, she's great. Yeah, I'm totally in love with her. Like Santanical Pandemonium, damn. Oh, speaking of Q&A, it's actually cool. She actually once answered a question of mine on a From Dusk Till Dawn Season 2 Q&A. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. And then after that, probably going a little bit older, I have a crush on Winona Ryder. She's great. Joyce Byers, where's my son? Especially like Reality Bites Winona Ryder from like the 90s. As far as now, you have Camila Mendez, Veronica from Riverdale. Yeah. And then going older, I like Autumn Reeser. She's on Hallmark movies now, which is weird because I remember her back in like her 2008 Maxim days, and then she was on Lost Boys: The Tribe, which is like the direct-to-DVD sequel to Lost Boys. So it's weird seeing her on Hallmark now. I like first saw her on Lost Boys and Hawaii Five-0, and then my mom's like watching stuff on Hallmark. I'm like, that's cool, but I remember her in a vampire film. And then Ana de Armas is just beautiful. She's gonna be the new Bond girl, and yeah, she's joy incarnate. And then also probably Summer Glau. I really like Summer Glau in Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles. I actually got to meet Summer Glau at Wizard World. That was great. Anyway, that got a little bit weird with my crushes, so yeah. Yeah, I feel like driving around and listening to some Def Leppard. Random, I know. UTK asks, what's your favorite color? I love red. Red's revenge, anger, passion, and then blue, black, and silver. But probably red and blue. But red. Red's my favorite color. UTK asks, is there anyone in the film industry you wish to work with? Yes. Emma Watson. Yes, but as far as filmmakers, I wouldn't mind working with Robert Rodriguez. That would be so cool. He's such a inspiration to me. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas. As far as like male actors, I want to work with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mel Gibson if I ever get a chance to, or ever so lucky. Those are two actors I want to work with. And yeah, besides Emma Watson, probably like Emma Roberts, Natalie Portman. Those would be people that I really want to work with. Kevin Smith would be kind of cool to work with. Michael Rosenbaum, Tom Welling from Smallville. Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind working with Emilio Estevez. I have a role for him in a movie idea. I wouldn't mind working with him there or being an actor in one of his films. I think he's such an underrated film director, and he really tackles films and stories that are just underneath the radar. He doesn't do your big blockbuster movies. He really does films about important issues that go on every day in our country. So yeah, I wouldn't mind working with Emilio Estevez. That's right, Gordon Bombay himself. What's your dream job? UTK Productions asks. Working in a Hollywood studio, or maybe being an author and writing a book. I'm working on a novel right now, but my dream job would be working at Warner Brothers Studio. Like, I don't mind Universal, Paramount, Disney even, but Warner Brothers is a film studio near and dear to my heart. I would say 20th Century Fox, but they're bought out by Disney now, so probably Warner Brothers. And my dream job would be making a Batman or DC film, as long as it would let me. I would direct Batman films for the rest of my freaking life if I could. That would be my dream job. It really would. Either that or directing a Mission Impossible movie. I wouldn't mind doing that either. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, working at Warner Brothers or DC and doing something DC Comics related. Okay, the final question from UTK. If you could live in any fantasy world, which would it be and why? You know, I never thought about this before. I like Stranger Things. I like Smallville. Okay, I have two. It would be The Oasis from Ready Player One, the novel and film, because you could create anything you want, be anyone you want. But then you'd be in poverty, so I don't know. Same thing with The Matrix. It'd be like in a world without humans and everything around civilization, be machines. Ready Player One or Neverland from Peter Pan, because you would never grow old. That would be cool, and you could fly, be like Peter Pan. But as far as which version of Peter Pan, the one from Hook with Robin Williams, that would be one fantasy world I wouldn't mind living in. Or even Star Wars, man. Star Wars would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind living in Star Wars. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I think those would be the best fantasy worlds. Actually, I take that back. I think I would want to live in Star Trek because you would have medical advancements, but then you get past all the division and bullshit of the human race. Even though there'd be a catastrophic event of World War III, you have Zephyr and Cochrane go to space jump, first contact. The Federation would be a united world, a world without any bias, without racism, a world about exploration and bettering the human condition. So I would probably have to say Star Trek the more I think about it. Anyway, that does it for this Q&A session. Thank you everyone who submitted questions. Oh man, it means the world to me. And yeah, thank you for watching and subscribing and being with me on this journey to 500 videos. Time for the giveaway winners. GeekandEats, you won one. John MB, Chris Johnson, Mad Zombie, and UTK Productions. You 5 are the winners of the digital HD copies of either Creed 2, Tomb Raider, Halloween, Bad Times at the El Royale, and Aquaman. So it's a first come, first serve. I'll email you that you've won. And yeah, I hope you enjoy your digital HD copies. It's on a Movies Anywhere app, so yeah, it'd be interesting. Anyway, that does it for this video, guys. Feel free to check out UTK Productions channel. They're awesome. And also, Sammy from UTK Productions made a film called Cupid's First Day for Narrow Bridge Films. Totally check them out. Narrow Bridge Films. You can check out his film on Amazon Prime, or you can rent it on Amazon. Great little cute short film. And check out Narrow Bridge Films. They're awesome. And UTK Productions, I have a link down below. They're amazing. They have some vlogs. There's a funny video they did with Stranger Things that's just hilarious. I love it. And also check out GeekandEats page on Instagram. They have amazing pictures of food. Man, they are awesome. So special thank you to UTK and GeekandEats for the Q&A. And yeah, that does it, everyone. I thank all of you out there. If you want me to do another Q&A, just let me know. Leave some more questions down below. And yeah, feel free to stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to go into a spoiler discussion of Avengers Endgame. I was going to do a non-spoiler one, but let's face it, you want to talk about spoilers. So we're going to go into the Endgame. And then we'll take it from there. Remember to subscribe and watch these videos on my channel. You can also go to the Stardust app for more reactions. So enjoy these videos, and yeah, everyone have a nice day. Till next time. Thank you.